So in last class we had seen up to learning and literature in Chinese civilization. So right now we are talking about civilization, different world civilization students. Now moving on to important inventions made by the Chinese civilization people. So Chinese was very prosperous civilization and they had a lot of invention which was being made. So silk tea in paper, brush for painting and writing, abacus, acupuncture, rudder, gunpowder, glass, pottery, procline and rocket, spoon, forks, umbrella, seismograph, marine compass, spoons, forks, umbrella, seismograph, mariner compass, etc. The important contribution of the Chinese to the world. Okay, so the Chinese civilization had given a lot of contributions to the world. So they introduced brush, paper, ink, tea, acupressure, abacus, and etc. So they were what to say prosperous, and they have the kind of inventing. They had a lot of knowledge when it comes to invention. Now moving on to art and architecture, art and painting. The Chinese had developed wonderful painting. They painted silk cloth, tomb walls, pots and papers. They believed that tomb painting were meant to protect the dead and help their souls to go to heaven. So they thought that silk cloth will help them to silk cloth. They painted the tomb walls, etc. And also they thought that if they paint the tomb paintings means because it will help them to go to the souls who can go to the heaven. Okay, because of this reason the tombs will be painted by them. Then moving on to sculpture, Chinese developed the art of casting bronze statues of animals, monasteries. These are developed during the Shangs and Shans. So they had what to say the art of what to say. They had a lot of arts. So towards that also what to say they had the sculpting of bronze, etc. Buddhism influenced the sculptures and the statue of Bodhisattva carved in the stone found in the large number. Okay, so you have the stones of Bodhisattva which is being what to say found in many region, and then also you have the terracotta sculpture. The terracotta army assembled in the tomb for the first Qin emperor consisted of 5 life-size images, more than 8,000 warriors and horses. They were very attractive. Okay, so you have the terracotta army. It shows the description of 8,000 warriors and there was also horses which are being standing. Okay, then moving on to architecture. Chinese were massive builders. Okay, they were massive builders. The Great Wall of China, one of their important impressive ever. Okay, so Great Wall of China was one of the seven wonders of the world, and it is very impressive architecture by them. The lasting architecture accomplished. It was purely built for the ulterior purpose of protecting the country from Huns, okay, and the Mongols. Why a Great Wall of China was built is because to protect from foreign attack, okay, because it is a vast land, you didn't have any protection for them. So if Great Wall of China is there, it will be tough for the other like foreign countries to come and invade us. Because of this reason, they had built the Great Wall of China. It is 2,380 kilometer long, about 22 feet high and 20 feet broad. After every 300 feet, a watchtower of 400 feet high built. It is one of the wonders of the ancient world. It was popular among the Chinese as forced labors were used to construct. Okay, so the force, it was not what to say. The Peking had pulled the labors forcefully to work under the constructions. The portion of the Great Wall were rebuilt. Okay, so the portion of Great Wall was rebuilt and restructured by later dynasties. Okay, later it was restructured by the later dynasties who had come. So the wall is still standing. Even today the wall is still standing. They also built a great palaces, but none of them survived. Okay, but the palaces did not survive. They built in mud and wood. They built a Buddhist temples called pagodas. Important among them are giant wild goose pagoda, jet pagoda, and flask pagoda. So they had built a lot of giant temples, so called as pagodas. The temple of Sleeping Buddha outside Peking present Beijing is noteworthy. Okay, so you have a statue of Sleeping Buddha which is very famous. Then moving on to philosophy and religion. The three philosophers of China, Laotus, Confucius and Mencius, had influenced the religious idea of Chinese to greater extent. Okay, so that there were three important philosophers who had influenced the idea of Chinese people. Then you have Laertes. He was a great philosopher. He lived before Confucius. About 600 BC, he worked as a curator in the royal library. Okay, so he was a curator in a royal library. Chon rulers, he was disgusted with the corrupted political system, hence he left the remote part of China and wrote a book called Toti Chik, the way of life. Okay, so he was very distracted with the way of corrupted life inside the what is the kingdom. So he had gone out and he had written a book called The Way of Life. His philosophy is known as Tasosien Totha preached non-violence. So he preached non-violence, no fight, not to be conservative. Society should respect wise persons. Okay, always you should respect wise person. Duty with the sincerity. Always you should be sincere and honesty when you're doing some work. And so some of his important sayings are: violence defeats its own ends. Okay, so if you are violent, you will have your own end. Wisdom can never be transmitted by words. Okay, so wisdom always, it just cannot, when you talk to someone, your wisdom cannot be transmitted. He said then one should be good to do good and good to evil. Okay, one should be always good to be do good, and also to do to evil also should be good. Okay, the things in nature work silently. So things in nature will work very silently. If you do not quarrel, no one can quarrel with you. Okay, so if you're not quarreling, no one else can quarrel with you. Then moving on to the next philosopher, Confucius. Confucius was the greatest of the Chinese philosopher. Born in the kingdom of Lu in 571 BCE, he lost his father at the age of 3. He faced a lot of difficulties. Confucius learned archer and music. He married at the age of 19 and gave up a family life at the age of 23. Okay, so he was married at the age of 19, gave up his family life. His father was passed away in the age of 3. He learned music. He was an archer. He worked in the different capacities as language teacher, editor, judge, and minister. So he was a teacher, he was an editor, judge. He proved to be a great philosopher and teacher. The philosophy of Confucius is known as Confucianism. The principles of Confucius are based in the common Chinese tradition beliefs. He taught loyalty towards family, so you should be always loyal towards your family. Worship of ancestors should be there. Respect your elders. Unity among the people of China. Okay, so always you should have unity among the people of China. His sayings: what you do not like when done to yourself, do not do with others. It is considered as golden rule of Confucius. Okay, so what you do not like when someone do it to you, don't do the same thing to others. You be kind. Character is the foundation of society. So your character is the foundation of a society. Wisdom always begins at home. The great man acts before he speaks and speaks according to his action. Okay, so great man always he speaks and speaks according to his action. The society rests on the obedience and children to their parents and wife, and her husband and students to their teachers. Okay, so society rests on the obedience of children's parents, wife, etc. Excessive taxation and barbaric punishment should be abolished. Okay, so no taxes should not be collected, and or you should not punish people. To see what is right and not to do it, it is what want of courage of or a principle. Okay, so always you should know what is right, you should tell. Okay, you should have courage to do it. You wish that unemployment be provided jobs. Okay, so always you should provide jobs for the people who don't have jobs. The government must protect the orphans and aged widows and diseased and disabled. Okay, he said that government should help all the people who are suffering from a lot of problems. Next, the third philosopher, Mencius. After great philosopher, China lived between 372 to 289. His early name was Mencius. He was influenced by the teachings of Confucius. He thought that every person must have the equal rights. He also thought that everyone should be having equal rights, and he was influenced by Confucius. According to him, all the individuals are good, all the humans are good, all social evils come due to the illiteracy. Okay, when social evil will come, when you're not educated, ignorance, and you have poverty. Anyhow, his teachings could not become popular at all. So his teachings could not become popular as Confucius, as his teachers were similar to his teachings were similar to Confucius. So even Mencius' teachings were similar to Confucius' teaching. Okay, then moving on to the last part, that is Buddhism. No particular religion was followed by ancient Chinese. They essentially worship the spirits of their ancestors. Okay, so in the early Chinese people were worshipping their own ancestors, spirits, souls. Buddhism also great impact on the life of philosophy of China. Buddhism spread to China from India during Kanishka's period in first century. Okay, so when Kanishka was ruling in India, during that time in China, Buddhism was spreaded. The Buddhist monks and trade of the Indian popularized Buddhism in China, but it could not develop until the decline of Han Dynasty. Okay, so after the decline of Han Dynasty, Buddhism got its base there because it is strictly practiced Confucian thought. Later Chinese rulers, the Yuan dynasty and Manchu used it to connect with the Chinese, justify the rule. Okay, so later the Manchu dynasty and the Yuan dynasty used Buddhism. During these dynasties, Buddhism became the state religion. Okay, so during Yuan and Manchu's dynasty, Buddhism became the one of the major religion. Even now it is popular religion of the country, as influenced by every aspect of Chinese society. Okay, even today Buddhism has been influenced by a lot of people. So by this we come to the end of the chapter. So throughout this chapter we dealt with the what is civilization and how did civilization flourish, and we saw the three important civilization of the world, that is the Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization and Chinese civilization. So in the next chapter we'll be dealing with the Roman and the other civilizations, and civilizations are some of the basis for your history. Okay, like it talks about your past and it also brings the basis of the next new development of human beings. Thank you.